It's not just about having one good shot. In tennis, you have to have everything.
You've got to start from the bottom and go up.
It doesn't just happen overnight.
The levels just get harder.
Every match is a big match.
It's pretty ruthless. You have to win or you go home.
Inside top 100, you get into main draw Grand Slam, and that's where everyone wants to compete.
We're trying to be the best we can be.
Always trying to prove other people wrong, really.
Okay, this will be interesting. Okay, so this would have been when I was 15, I think. You may think I'm crazy, but I know I can go far in tennis. I just need big help in my program outside of squads, like tennis squads. I need to put extra in, and you know I can do that. I've been watching a kid called Francis Tiafoe on YouTube for the past 3 hours, and I know I can get to that level. I want to try my hardest to go all the way. That's how I feel. Damn. My name is Paul Job, I'm 24 and I'm a professional tennis player.
You can't use camera shy. Good, how you doing?
Yeah. Did you have a nice weekend?
Yeah. Just spreading the love. Should we do the same routine every day? You'd think I know it off by heart by now.
So yeah, I grew up in Hull, and yeah, grew up living with my grandma. She raised me, and then yeah, would like to think I was a good kid, playing lots of sports. When I was really young, I played more football than tennis. Over the years, the more I started playing tennis, the more I just naturally started choosing tennis over football more, and that was it really.
Before I was like, I don't know why people wear braces, like I'll never wear them. And now it's like, I feel unprotected if I don't.
You know, I want to make something of this, and you know, I took a lot of inspiration from, at the time, it was Tiafoe. I was watching his story, and I got a lot of inspiration from how, you know, he made it happen. He was able to make it happen from where he grew up and his situation. You know, that really inspired me, because honestly, I didn't actually think it would be possible.
Maybe taper the bottom bits a bit.
No, because I need everything to be long.
Like shave that bit, or are you gonna let it go?
Just let it go, man.
Okay. You could shape it now.
No, because this needs to grow.
Ooh. There we go. I mean, if I'm talking about Paul, I've got, yeah, there you go, it's fine. I think everyone deals with kind of adversity, you know, at times in their life, and he's definitely someone who's had to deal with a lot of adversity. I met Paul when I was probably 10 years old, and then early on last year we moved in together.
I definitely struggled with, you know, growing up, dealing with, yeah, the loss of my parents from a young age. You know, seeing other kids, like parents take them to school and pick them up from school or whatever, and kind of seeing the relationship and bond between mother and son, father and son. Not having that growing up was something tough for me to deal with. Even little things of kind of the privilege of having your parent drive you to practice, whereas, you know, for instance, my grandma didn't drive or whatever, so from an early age, having the conversation with my tennis coach, and what he did such a great job of, and I still thank him to this day for, was being, you know, soft, and also giving me the brutal reality of, like, if you want to do this, you also have to make it happen yourself. You've got to make the best of your situation. That's what he would say. And now, like, if anything bad happens to me, that's just my initial reaction. So yeah, when my injury happened, I was pretty quick into kind of, you know, having that conversation with myself of, this is my reality, how can I make the best of it?
Go! Come on, push! Big C-style steps. Yes, there we go. Drive. Yeah.
Ruptured my ligaments in my ankle, end of January last year. That was my first big injury. Like, I haven't had an injury that big.
Injuries, illnesses, they do kind of reassure you that, okay, like tennis is definitely the one for me to do. You know, I don't think I could go more than 2 weeks without tennis in my life.
I saw him with a level of stress and a level of sort of almost sadness.
And then shortly after, you know, I lose my grandma, the woman who raises me. And previously I was traveling a lot and I didn't actually visit home that much. But when I got my injury and she got ill shortly after, I was quickly able to kind of look at the positive of kind of divine intervention. Now I'm home based, I'm injured. I can travel to and from London.
So I think being injured, especially in Paul's case, gives you that time to sort of rethink and sort of gain perspective. He always reacts incredibly well to adversity and tough situations.
I might have had some things rough, but there's also other circumstances and other people who have had things rougher, you know, and tougher. So who am I to be a crybaby or, you know, feel sorry for myself? It's kind of how my mind shifts whenever kind of bad things happen.
Couple of drop shots, a bit more rest and we'll go.
He was in the gym every day, he was trying to learn, he was trying to read. I saw him reading, I was like, you know, you don't have to fix everything in one day, mate. You know, it's gonna come for you in the end, you know.
I took a lot of time to try and actually, you know, work on the mental side of things.
I would say in general he dealt with it incredibly well, and that's why, you know, however long we are along the line now, he's fit, he's had a really good year so far, he's played a lot of matches, he's coming up on the grass in decent form, and he's been consistent, he's in a great place, and it's nice to see.
I'm close. I'm knocking on the door. Generally knocking on the door.
I hate looking at the camera. Yeah. Hi, I'm Jodie Burridge and I'm a professional tennis player. 2023, it's a pretty good season actually for me. I wish I could go back there right now.
What a win for Jodie Burridge. A first tour level semi-final and on home soil as well.
A first final on the WTA tour for Jodie Burridge.
Broke top 100, won first Wimbledon match.
There it is now, and the second round beckons.
Won first US Open match.
Burridge through to the second round for the first time here.
I was in San Diego. I went out there for the 500, and my first practice out there, I literally was just hitting backhands cross. We were half an hour into the session, and I just felt and kind of heard a pop in my left wrist, and then had to stop straight away. And basically the tendon was flicking over like the wrist bone every time I basically turned it. And actually was initially told that it would recover in 10 days, 2 weeks. But when I saw my guys back here, they said, you know, this is something that you could definitely need surgery for. And they said 4 to 6 months if I did get surgery.
I've been through a lot of injuries, and it's probably cost me quite a lot of time off the sport. As I get older and more experienced, you have to think long term and you have to look after your body, and you need to be kind to it, else it won't be kind to you. So I think it's part of sport, it's why we do what we do, and you have to move past it.
It took me a few days to decide because obviously I've had surgeries before and I couldn't quite stomach a fourth surgery, but it just wasn't getting better. I couldn't do my hair, you know, and when you can't do things like that, you're definitely not going to be able to play professional sport. Decided to get surgery, went really well, been recovering, yeah, pretty well, and yeah, just trying to get it strong again.
That looks good. Got your thumb position up as well.
Big weights. I think just about now, so we're 5 months down the line, I'm probably at a stage where I'm now not thinking about how many backhands I hit, because I was counting every single backhand I was hitting in training. which was very draining. But being a tennis player, there's nothing you can do off the court that replicates actually hitting a backhand or anything that you do on the court. So you've got to start from the bottom and go up.
Have you ever made a coffee before?
So weird coming this side of the counter.
I know, you're telling me. And then just lightly press down.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I live just up the road, so it's not far from me, but this place is where I come every single morning. You know, we come in here, have some good chats. There's
there we
the
go.
little heart.
A little heart.
There it is.
Hey, maybe you could get a job here.
Maybe I could. I mean, I'd rather be on the road, that's for sure. I do miss it a lot, but you know, Wimbledon, Southfields, it's really special for a tennis player anyway. It's nice to spend time here and get to know it a little bit more. And you know, I've been to the Sunday market at Wimbledon Village a few times. I mean, I've never done that before. So it's something new, but that's what you kind of got to do when you're injured. You've got to kind of fill the time a little bit.
I think for the first 2 months of you coming in, you could barely hold a conversation until you'd had your coffee.
Till I had my
because
coffee.
you were, yeah. But now you're coming in before 8 a.m. and you're like a new woman.
I am.
Yeah, it's impressive.
I am.
It's good work.
It's what this place does to you. I'm in here 7:45 to about 8:15, 8:30, get to training for 9 o'clock. You know, my routine of 2 hours of rehab and warm up before tennis at 11, gym at 2, treatment at 3.
When do you think you'll be back full time?
I think I'm hoping Nottingham, so I'm hoping grass court I'll be fine. But it's kind of play it by ear the next few weeks.
Yeah.
It's been good to have this consistency, I think, with my injury at the moment. And it's been good to see, you know, regular faces here and actually get to know the people here a little bit more. It's been really nice.
Hopefully
You'll miss me when I'm back playing.
Well, hopefully you will be back playing.
Yeah.
And I can come to your workplace instead.
Yeah, we'll make that happen actually. I love doing this every day and love where I am, but it is starting to get a little bit tedious now, and I just want to get back competing. Hopefully not too long. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see when I'm back.
Well, it's one of those funny kind of transitional times in the tennis calendar right now, isn't it? Because you've got some players still very much focused on the clay, playing over at Roland Garros, but for many players, their eyes will already be on the grass. The first tournaments are only 2 or 3 weeks away at this point.
So I was a week out and had just started playing points, and 2 days before I was supposed to fly to French Open, I was playing points with Katie Bolter, and she decided to hit a drop shot, a pretty good one, but I basically went to slide in to try and, you know, get that drop shot up, and I did my ankle again, rolled it and tore ligaments again. I thought my wrist was tough to take. This was really hard for me. This is the ankle that I've had 2 surgeries on as well. And as soon as I did it, I knew I had done ligaments. I didn't know the extent of the damage, but I know what that feeling's like. And I knew it straight away. I couldn't get up. Yeah, I was inconsolable, I would say, for a few days. Yeah, I couldn't do much. And when you've worked so hard to come back from one thing, when you thought that would be the lowest point in your career, to then have another knock, yeah, it was pretty tough to take. It was really nice to receive the amount of love and messages that I did. Looking back on it now, I probably appreciate it more than in that moment, because in that moment, there wasn't much you could say to me that would actually make me feel better. But yeah, it was amazing to see how many people messaged me and how many people, you know, messaged me the weeks after, see how I was getting on and kind of supported me through this. But yeah, I think there was a lot of shock, and again, people not really believing that it was happening, and you know, saying, oh, you're so unlucky. And you know, my second operation, it was the same ankle, and the surgeon was like, oh gosh, like I've never seen this before, like so unlucky. And then the third ankle operation. Missing grass court season for a British player is one of the toughest things. It's always tough missing a slam, but missing your home slam is not easy. And I thank everyone who sent me messages and supported me through the start of the ankle injury, because it did help me get through it.
Morning. You doing alright? Yeah, not too bad. Yourself? Thank you.
Well, you know it's summer when tennis is back in southwest London. The Lexus Surbiton Trophy kicks off today and runs through till next Sunday. It's the first race.
You know, growing up, seeing the grass court, seeing the British public, you know, seeing major success from Andy, it definitely is the reason why I'm inspired to play this sport. So, and I think all British players would probably say the same thing.
For me, the first thing what comes to mind is playing in front of British crowds. The potential opportunity of playing Wimbledon is obviously so exciting. It's such a big tournament and it's such a great tournament.
Over the grass period, you just have to take the chances that come, because normally you wouldn't get into some of those tournaments, and then you're in via wild cards, and every match is a big match because you're playing for higher points in the bigger tournaments. So you just have to take the opportunity with both hands and try and make the most of it.
So there it is, Paul Jubb gets his grass court season underway with a comfortable straight sets win.
Everyone in the back of their minds, you know, has their sights on trying to get to the ranking of being able to play at least qualifying, or having the opportunity to get a wild card for qualifying or wild card for main draw. That's always in the back of the mind, just because you want to play at Wimbledon, so, and especially as a Brit.
Feeling good? Not too bad, not too bad.
The whole year doesn't just evolve around this grass court season, but obviously the aspirations to win in front of British crowds and show what you're capable of is always something what you want to do.
Can I get a photo?
Yeah.
I feel better physically than pre-injury. I feel better mentally, and I actually feel better in my game. So, you know, I think my ranking's probably lower than kind of what I'm playing on a day-to-day basis level-wise. So I think it's just a matter of time before I'm, you know, going back to where I was and higher, as long as I keep doing more of the same.
Yeah, definitely looks nicer today. Those guys.
This is probably the tournament in the year that's closest to home for you then, is it, apart from Wimbledon?
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, Wimbledon's probably the closest one, but this one is pretty close. It's so nice to stay at home.
My name's Lily Miyazaki and I'm a professional tennis player. I started tennis probably when I was about 4 or 5 years old. My dad played a little bit socially, and then my brother, who's 2 years older than me, joined a tennis club, and I used to copy everything that he did, so I kind of tagged along with him. And this was when I was living in Japan, because I was born there, lived there for about 5 years.
It's actually quite weird to stay at home during a tournament, but it definitely, I mean, I really like it because you can obviously stay in your own bed, you know, do all your usual like routines. It's so close to where you, like live, train, and I grew up in this area as well. So I definitely feel quite comfortable.
It's the first time, or one of the only times in the year you're really able to be at base a lot more, and you know, you just obviously you feel a lot more comfortable than being on the road 24/7 in hotels or whatever it is.
Being at home and being in your home country, you know, you don't have to travel far to tournaments.
You know, home's home, so you can't kind of replicate that.
Last year was good, made semis, so I mean, I hope I can have a good run again, but I have a tough round today against Harriet, so
we'll see. I'll just take it match by match.
Welcome to a sunny Lexus Surbiton Trophy.
We're kicking off today with Paul Jubb in action.
Well, it's the toughest possible first round matchup by ranking for Brit Paul Jubb. Alex Michelsen is the top seed here in Surbiton, so Jubb will need to be on it from the word go.
For me, I think tennis is mainly mental, especially when you go up in the levels. I think you get to a point where everyone can hit forehands, backhands.
It obviously comes down to how you're playing on the day, but mentally, if you're not there, if you're not fighting, if you're not prepared to give everything, if you're not prepared to work things out, you're not going to win at that level.
It's also a lot about, yourself, how tough you are mentally, how composed you are.
There we go, son. Come on.
How clearly you're able to think in tough moments, because everyone plays tennis well, at the higher levels you get to. So I put a big emphasis on the mental side, and if you're really strong in that department, you have a good chance of winning, I would say.
So Paul Jubb continuing his momentum from qualifying. That's a strong 6-4 first set.
Having a good mentality is probably one of the best things you can have as a tennis player.
I try and focus on staying in the moment and being myself. It doesn't matter who's on the other end of the court. It's just a tennis ball coming at you every single time.
Well, Michelsen might be finding his grass court feet here. Steady a set from the top seed. Fight back on.
Things can go very wrong very quickly. It's very important to stay very much in the present.
He's been very open about his story, but he obviously comes from a tough background. He's really had to work hard for everything that he's achieved.
When things aren't going so well, that's when he needs to be really mentally strong.
You have to take the responsibility yourself. You look yourself in the mirror and you're the one who has to change it.
Top seed toppled in round one by a Brit. Paul Jubb with his first main draw win here at the Lexus Surbiton Trophy.
Next up, Harriet Dart against Lily Miyazaki, our British number 2 and our British number 4.
World number 133 Miyazaki. She's making steady progression. Ranking points to be gained this week if she can navigate the tricky clash of a fellow Brit.
It's a huge honour and privilege to be able to come out and play in front of a home crowd.
Usually when we're out on the road, especially if you're playing on the Futures Tour, you could literally have maybe one person or not even anyone watching if you don't have anyone there with you. So it's just really nice to have support, and yeah, the British crowd are great. They really get behind the players.
When you're not an athlete, that is quite underestimated how much a crowd can help a person on the court.
But also you kind of put pressure on yourself because you have high hopes, high expectations.
She's found the first set, 6-2 in her favour.
When you play against another Brit in one of these tournaments, it's never an easy match because obviously we all know each other's game styles.
A successful start to the 2024 grass court season for Harriet Dart.
As tennis players, we have to be able to lose.
You have to be disappointed, but the next day or the day after, you've got to be back out there practicing, and we are also lucky we get another chance the next week because it's not like we need to be picked in the team. We enter the tournament, we get another chance, and that's also a very unique part of our sport.
When I lose, I think of ways that I can improve and try and be better for the next week.
Brilliant, lovely, thank you. Hello. Oh, that's working, great.
So good afternoon and welcome to the LTA Open Nottingham. We will be doing the main draw on this lovely British summer's day. Local player Katie Boulter and defending champion on line 24.
Stop number 2 of the grass court swing sees us arrive here in Nottingham, and we're joined by some of the biggest names in the sport.
Good luck. Thank you.
It's a special time of year for all of us and the Brits, and just to be back playing on home turf, I'm very much looking forward to.
It's been a while since I've been back in Nottingham, and it's been pretty cold already. A lot of rain, it's been tough, but yeah, looking forward to getting some matches on the grass.
I always try and unpack and make sure my stuff is tidy, but that's as kind of as homely as you can make it, I guess. I think throughout the year it's like different ebbs and flows. I actually like kind of being in my own company and to myself.
I think depending on your headspace, it can feel a bit lonely, yeah, especially if you're traveling on your own.
We spend so much time traveling. We spend 30 weeks of the year minimum on the tour and away from home. So having friends on tour is important.
Too much time to yourself, too much time, in your own thoughts and headspace can also be a bit too much. So it's also important to get the balance. Got them. I think I'm pretty much done. Especially weeks like these where all the people, all your friends in tennis who you train with and hang out with, I guess, are in the same tournaments. It's nice, like it does make a difference.
I've been on a little country vibe recently. Clean, first time, there we go, for the cameras.
Well, there's finally a break in the rain here in Nottingham, and they'll be delighted about that at the Lexus Nottingham Tennis Centre, where the Rothsay Open is back underway, and last year's champion Katie Boulter is currently taking on Harriet Dart.
The people who I work close with, I think they will tell you, I'm a motivated person, and I'm always looking at how I can progress myself and kind of level up. I think I'm naturally addicted to kind of getting better. Hard work pays off, and the amount of successful people who have said that, so it's got to be true. Believing in my tennis and my capabilities has kind of always been there, but I think the mental aspect of being on the pro circuit and the physical aspect has been the two main things that I've had to slowly develop over time. Consistency is so big. Like, I think my game has always kind of had good potential, and I've beaten good players over the years, but in pro tennis you have to repeat that day by day, and I think that's the thing I've been still trying to develop.
In tournaments you have to be very consistent with everything, because you have to look after your energy. If you win a match, then it doesn't matter how long it is or how short it is or how taxing, you've got to play the next day.
Sometimes you've got to win ugly.
Welcome to Wednesday at the Rothsay Open Nottingham. It's a great British takeover to launch the day on centre court, and here is Jacob Fernley, finished up at Texas Christian University, where a number of players from the UK have taken the college route.
Went to the University of South Carolina. I studied retail management. Don't ask me why. Just did it. Honestly, I was a little kid. Like, I was scrawny, just turned 17-year-old. I think it gave me the ability to grow up faster, becoming more of a man and a better tennis player.
I decided to go to college because I wasn't ready physically when I was 18. It was great out there just because I could get so many competitive matches week in, week out. So I could just work on my game in those 4 years that I was there.
You have the NCAAs, which is obviously the big pinnacle of collegiate sports. Managed to get to the final and played Nuno Borges in the final to take home the title.
First set, friendly, listen.
We have a good group of guys, you know, Toby, who went to South Carolina, Jack Pennington-Jones, Jacob Fernley, Johannes Monday, like all those guys, the hard workers, they all want to get better. So I'm not surprised that, you know, they come out the other end, you know, better players.
And he is looking pretty cool here. Set point on serve. Stunning way to finish a very impressive set of tennis from Jake Fernley.
By 6-1, new balls.
1 foot in the quarterfinals. Paul Jubb with a lot to work out here on centre court.
When things aren't going so well, you just have to stay calm and try and find a plan B or a plan C. And sometimes it might be really ugly or something, but you just have to make it work and just find a way.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
The grass is a big opportunity for the Brits. You know, it's shown we've got some good players who have that level.
What a contest here. From being 5-2 down in this second set, Jake Fernley is a tiebreak away from the quarterfinals.
It is really about per match, I'd say, you know, 4, 5, 6 points. That makes a difference in a match, and the pressure that comes along with that and having to deal with that is really tough. I
mean, it's happened to me twice this year where I've lost more points and won the match, and also once where I've won more points and lost the match. So it's such a small margin in tennis.
6-5, Fernley.
Match point. Second match point.
It's definitely hard to think point by point, but it is something that I think we all try and do, and it's almost like a must, especially if you're playing on the big stage.
It's another match point. Fourth match point.
It's so important to stay focused. I just understand the importance of every point.
All right then, who's ready for match point 7? Got to give so much credit to Paul Jubb for how he's hung on here.
Settle.
Incredible scenes on centre court. 7 match points saved, and we're going the distance.
He played really well today. I fought hard and managed to give myself a say, and that's something I try and take pride in, is my competitiveness and toughness out on the court, trying to make it tough for my opponents. Just never over to the last point, and like today, you know, hang around and give yourself a chance. Yeah, momentum is there.
Resilience from Paul Jubb to force the decider.
but phenomenal from Burnley to see himself into a first ATP Challenger Tour quarter-final of his singles career.
It's easy as a tennis player to be so consumed into, I've lost this tennis match, it's the end of the world. Everything I do and how people look at me and is determined on, you know, how I hit a tennis ball and if I win this match. And but that's, you know, that's not the case.
You're going to win some, you're going to lose some, but most important thing is to be improving your game.
You're still on the practice court, you're still putting hours in, you're still getting better.
It's important in all areas, mentally, physically, emotionally, you know, what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, how you're, how well disciplined you are, how well you're looking after your body, you know, putting in good practices.
You know, all of that stuff pays dividends in the end. You're always setting yourself up for the chance of success, whether that comes, next week, the week after, the month after. Even if you have a bad week, you keep moving, you keep rolling,
Welcome back to Nottingham and the Rothsay Open. It's been something of a damp week here so far, but there's an impressive lineup of Brits due on court today. Hopefully the rain will stay away.
And I've got it all framed and everything. Oh, that's amazing.
Start that gently.
I've done one of these before. Good. Hi, I'm Emily Appleton. I'm 24 years old and I'm a professional tennis player.
30.
I think at this point in time, I'm at an exciting point in my tennis career. I've been 10 in the world in the juniors. I've had a great junior career. I then had a good start to the senior career, had a little dip. There was COVID. And now coming out the other side, I really feel like I have a lot more to give, but in a good way. I'm on the rise and having the best year that I've had to date.
3-4 in the second of 30.
I'm just excited to see what the future holds. I know I have a lot more to give in me and I'm training really hard, competing hard, and I think just the more I can do that, put in the hard yards every single day, then I'm going to see more results on court.
Far in? Yeah, roll it.
On the grass, you play some players that don't play much on the grass, not used to the grass. So getting the wins there is can be a real bonus.
It's not a season where, you know, let's say a hardcourt season, you know, Australia or US Open or even Roland Garros, where you have maybe 200 guys that love the surface, that play well on it, that train on it.
If we can take advantage of those opportunities, it really can help make big jumps in the rankings.
It is a season where if you do play well, you can literally maximise and you can pick up a couple of 100 points and you become knocking on the door at big ATPs instead of maybe playing challengers sometimes. It's also a great learning opportunity. So I would always tell people that if you do have the opportunity to play up, it is important to do so.
And also it helps financially as well when you're playing in the bigger events, because the prize money is just higher.
This summer has been really positive. I've been able to get into some higher tournaments more often, and that's given me a lot of confidence knowing that I'm on the right path and I'm moving in the right direction.
No way!
Out on the outside courts, it's a second WTA Tour main draw match in the singles for qualifier Emily Appleton. She'll be looking to build on an impressive run to the quarterfinals of the Lexus Surbiton Trophy last week.
Surbiton was a great tournament for me. I got on the court and found a really good level and made the main draw. I saw the draw and I was playing Linda Frevitova, and I obviously know how good she's been in the past and how good she still is now, and I was just so determined to win again. I knew I was playing really well and that I was really finding my feet on the grass, and to come out with a win was just amazing. From then on, the confidence just built, and I was getting more and more matches as well, and that combination of confidence and more matches is really destructive for opponents, and it helped me go all the way through to the quarterfinals. I think Surbiton was a breakthrough in a way. It's a high level tournament and it showed me that I belong there and I can compete yeah, it kind of opened my eyes to the skills that I have and what I can do if I really apply my mind and my game.
So it's the Aussie who moves through. But Appleton has got to be pleased with her progress. Gave an opponent ranked over 200 spots above her a lot to think about today.
To be able to put it together on the court, on the match court, isn't always easy. And yeah, you can go through many ups and downs through the season, and it's important to have that, you know, good base. Yeah, just keep plugging away and keep putting the work in and keep believing in what you're doing, and good things can happen.
Playing the higher ranked players who have more experience at that level more often will only be of benefit to me, and so that's really a driver for me to try and get in these higher level tournaments more often. But at the same time, it is difficult. You know, you come up against the higher ranked players more often, and you know, you have to win or you don't get any points, and you get less money and you go home. So it's a tough balance between finding the tournaments where you're going to get enough matches to kind of get some momentum and build some confidence, and then taking that confidence into the higher level tournaments where you may not get as many wins, but the experience you'll get from that will be huge as well.
Which one?
Bullseye, maybe?
Yeah. Do you want to do this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. Little competition.
I like to play both singles and doubles every week when I can. I'm at a career high in both at the moment, and I think they both help each other. So I've had quite a lot of experience playing the higher level tournaments in doubles, and I think that's really helped my singles in some senses, because I sort of know what to expect in these tighter moments and when playing the higher ranked players, for example. And likewise, when I play singles, I think it really helps my doubles, because it's a different sort of fitness, it's different skills that you need, and I think playing both has enabled me to really hone those skills and yeah, just develop the key strengths in my game.
How long have you and Lily known each other?
A long time. I feel like we first played each other in a match, like NCL.
Yeah.
Random.
You were like 14 or something.
Random Sunday, and I was like, who is this Lily girl? Like, and then I think you crushed me like Love and Love. Maybe not Love and Love, but like 2 and 2 or something.
But yeah, you were like 14 or something, and I was 19, 18, 19.
That went quite far.
That did go far.
Finding a doubles partner is not easy, and it's actually one of probably my biggest stresses on the tour, next to sort of traveling and arranging all of that. Obviously, in an ideal world, it would be nice to have a set doubles partner who you can play week in, week out with, and you don't have to think about it throughout the year, but it's difficult to find that person. You know, a lot of it's done through social media, Instagram, Facebook, just asking around, and then you just have to try and find the person that you suit and match with well, and that you think you can gel with on the court.
We haven't actually played that much recently, just because we haven't really been at the same tournaments.
No. But
yeah, and I feel like you play doubles every week.
I play doubles every week, and just have like a few people that I try and call on if I can. The financial aspect of playing both is obviously really key. You know, at this stage in my career, you know, finance is tough. It's tough to support all the traveling and competing that I want to do, and obviously at the ranking I'm currently at in doubles, it's easier to get into these higher ranked tournaments, and whenever I can sneak into the singles as well, I do try to do so. Just for experience more than anything, but also it does help getting 2 paychecks instead of 1. That's nice.
It's key to have a good relationship on the court and off the court with your partner when you're playing doubles. It definitely makes things easier on the court. Makes communication better.
Nice.
I think it's very difficult to be changing partners each week on the tour. But yeah, when you get to a settled relationship, like anything, things seem to work better. The communication is in a line, and the success comes.
Oh, so good.
What a beauty!
That was so pure.
I think time to decompress is so important. Not something we get a lot of as tennis players, but I think it can really be of benefit.
This grass season, obviously it's like tennis, it's so busy, but and especially at tournaments, it can get quite overwhelming, but I think it's nice to just do something off court as well to keep your mind off.
I think it's important, otherwise, the days are pretty long, just sitting around at the tennis centre sort of waiting.
Can we hit one on the driver? Take one. Oh wow! That will do. One and done.
Yeah!
After all the weather delays we've had, we've finally reached the final. Karolina Pliskova up against the defending champion. Here she is, Katie Boulter of Great Britain.
Well, here we are then. Time for an all-British final showdown. Qualifier Broome is ranked more than 200 places above his opponent, but Fearnley has been the surprise package of the tournament so far.
Fearnley to serve. Ready, play.
It's probably easier to be the underdog playing a high-ranked player and nothing to lose, really.
Obviously, as the favourite, you're expected to win the match. It's interesting. You hear people talk about kind of self-belief and all of these kinds of things, but I think it's more important to focus on your identity as a player, and if you can really stay true to that, then yeah, you're going to be mentally in the best possible place to win.
Some moment for a 10th ace brings a triple championship point for Jacob Fearnley.
Nicely done. And here is championship points.
An incredible conclusion to an epic week for Jacob Fearnley. He's an ATP Challenger Tour singles champion.
And she's done it. Katie Boulter of Great Britain successfully defends her Rothesay Open title from last year.
It's the best tournament I've ever played, and it was a privilege to play on these grass courts that are kept so well.
Yeah, I'm very happy with today. I never dreamt that it would happen again. I thought it would be one time in Nottingham and then we move on, but yeah, this one's very special to me.
It is what
yes,
it is.
The rain's meant to come about 4 o'clock, so.
And then
4 o'clock, so let's get on with it.
Yes, exactly.
Great to have you with us as we follow today's action at the Lexus Ilkley Trophy, where we finally got some play after a very wet start to the week. Britain's Lily Miyazaki gets the early alarm call this morning to take on Elena Gabriela Russa.
Us tennis players, there's only one winner every week. Everyone else loses at some stage.
Second successive round one exit for Lily Miyazaki.
For me personally, I just tried to look at the big picture. I think knowing that you have another match, another opportunity the following week is a really big motivator. There can be added pressure playing at home when there are more eyes on you, but also you kind of put pressure on yourself because you have high hopes, high expectations for yourself. But I deal with that just by, again, just focusing on the process.
Coming through pretty quick, but go back middle if you're ever unsure on it, and then you try and find the corners, right? But you've got to really get your body into the ball as much as you can here, okay? Let's go. Right here, let's go.
So my coach is a guy called Craig Veal. I've been working with him since about 2019 after I finished college.
It's an area that tennis players are actually pretty good at, is learning from their mistakes, and along with a coach guiding the way.
What I love about tennis is just seeing how good I can get, and I just really enjoy getting better and learning more about myself.
Just keep working hard and the results will come.
Congratulations. What were you telling yourself at the end of the first set?
I mean, yeah, first set, I don't think I played my best tennis, but I just told myself, like, I can play better, as long as I trust myself and keep believing. Yeah, I always believed that my level was there, and yeah, I'm happy to manage to turn it around in the end. I really still enjoy that day-to-day work that I put in, and yeah, I just want to see where I can get to.
You don't complain about a 10:30 start when you've done it for everyone else, with a win as well. Yeah.
I'm Jay Clark, I'm 26 years old and I'm a professional tennis player. My first ever match, I would have been about 6 years old, and it was a doubles match with my dad in just like a men's level 5 club match against other clubs around Derby. Yeah, the guys we were playing against weren't too happy because they kept losing to us, but it was good fun. I was #1 in Europe, under 14s, the first ever British #1, and in my year under 14 Tennis Europe, at the top of it was Stefanos, Casper Ruud, Humbert, TFO. Funding was quite tough at the end of junior, so I chose not to play the US Open, and I went to play 2 Futures and I actually managed to win them both.
When you have success when you're young, it's obviously great, but it can also be dangerous because you know, there's so much depth in the men's game. You know, the levels just get harder, but even from the base level, it's still, you know, it's incredibly difficult, and you have to be an all-round amazing athlete, great mentally. You know, in tennis, you have to have everything.
So you're 26?
26 now, yeah.
It feels like you've been playing tennis for so long.
Yeah.
Does it feel that way to you? Do you feel like you've been in it forever?
Yeah, it's amazing now actually when I see a lot of the younger guys, you know, and they play really good tennis when they're born in 2008 or 2007. It's pretty crazy to me to obviously think actually they're not that young anymore. It's strange to think sometimes, to be honest. I think I won my first challenger 6 years ago now, which is, yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, Jay, very good, mate. That forward or back?
So I had to have wrist surgery actually, I think this week, a year ago. It was something I had pain with since 2019. I fell over in a pre-season and put my hand down, and basically it was just misdiagnosed as, you know, inflammation of the tendon when actually it was a fracture. And then as the years went on, the time between feeling pain and resting it became shorter and shorter and shorter, and then I was playing every tournament I was going to with pain, I was training with pain, I was taking a lot of painkillers just to be able to finish sessions and stuff, and it was really not a good position to be in. As the time passed by, I wasn't able to even hit backhands for 2 or 3 days a week, and I'd be trying to play a tournament, and if I was able to do well in the tournament, by the back end of the tournament I was having to slice a lot. It was a big decision to have the surgery, but it wasn't just affecting tennis, it was affecting normal life, and you know, I was becoming miserable. Obviously your rankings falling, you know, bills you have to pay. I got dropped by all my sponsors, so it was a really tough end to last year, and then obviously starting back basically with nothing. I managed to ramp up the rehab quite fast, which was, yeah, I was really happy with. I always asked, you know, is there a limit to the amount I can do this exercise during the rehab? And they'd always say no, so you know, I'd be watching TV 5-6 hours a day just doing those exercises, basically trying to fast track myself back onto court, and then, yeah, it made me better now for it. This year for grass, I'm grateful to be playing, to be honest, because the surgery was so big. It wasn't, you know, come back to tennis. It was maybe let's see if we can play tennis again. Let's see if we can, you know, get back to the sport. Since last year, I've won 9 doubles tournaments and 1 challenger in doubles. So everything that I've obviously done from coming back to now has been a bonus. And yeah, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to come back. So the fact that, you know, I've managed to win as many matches as I have, and yeah, just enjoy tennis, it's just definitely given it like a new look for me. Yeah.
So it's the Italian who moves into the second round of qualifying here in Ilkley. No home success today, but Jay Clark does still have the doubles to look forward to, who will line up alongside compatriot Marcus Willis.
as I've got older, you know, I used to think, oh my God, I'm amazing, and then I lose a match, oh, I'm terrible. Now I kind of watch the tape back and do everything. It's such small margins, and you know, a year can be very different, you know, with just a few points. So yeah, I think just being more mature and understanding those things has helped me this year.
Well, here in Ilkley, the glorious Yorkshire weather has finally arrived and we've had a full day of play across the courts.
40-30. I had the surgery in June and I actually got married in October, at the start of October, so that was big. The surgery kind of happened at the best time because I actually got to be involved in the planning. You know, we visited the venue a few times, you know, I got to do all the cake testing, or cake tasting, all this stuff. So no, it was a really, really special time, and I was really glad that I got to be there instead of obviously being on a phone call when I'm in Asia or, you know, South America or somewhere like that.
Thank you very much. So we didn't know if we were going to play today.
I understood.
The injury was so bad and I was playing through it for so long, I almost needed a break from tennis anyways. I always had, you know, support from my wife, my family, friends and stuff like that, and I was actually able to just be normal again, which I haven't had the chance to do since COVID, and then before that I don't even remember when. I'm playing with Marcus Willis. You know, he's one of my best friends on tour. We made third round of Wimbledon before. We actually won a challenger this year. Every time we play, we always do well. He's very relaxed, and I'm the same. And yeah, we just know how to get the best out of each other. And yeah, hopefully we get, you know, a couple of matches here this week. But we play well. There's no one in the draw that we're scared to play or that we think we can't beat. So actually, yeah, we're just ready to go for it.
So Jay Clark to get this one underway. It's a lovely put-away volley. Just floated long. It's another frustrating misreturn. The pressure's on Clark and Willis now. So the crowd who stayed late in Ilkley don't get to see the home win they were hoping for. The Australian pair just had a little bit too much for Clark and Willis this evening. The British pair will turn their attention to Wimbledon.
I view tennis very differently now to you know, I was doing before. Yeah, very blessed to actually still be playing, because you know, I left it so long and it got so bad that yeah, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to come back. So the fact that, you know, I've managed to win as many matches as I have, and yeah, just enjoy tennis is just definitely giving it like a new look for me. Yeah.
It's an exciting morning in the tennis world, with the championships at Wimbledon only a fortnight away. This morning, the wildcards have been announced.
Lily's got a wild card in Wimbledon.
Really?
I know, I saw that.
She got a wild card for Wimbledon. Look at it. It's Fran Jones.
There are major wildcards for Brits Lily Miyazaki and Paul Jubb in the singles, plus Derby's Jay Clark gets a golden ticket into the qualifying tournament, while Miyazaki will feature again alongside compatriot Emily Appleton in the ladies' doubles draw.
A wild card essentially is an opportunity to play a tournament that you don't have the ranking for.
Obviously some of the events over the summer, particularly Wimbledon for me, my ranking is not quite high enough yet to be able to get direct acceptance into the event. So a wild card is the way forward for me to be able to play.
If you're young, you might get a wild card for experience, or if you're actually on a great run of form, you might get a wild card because you're doing well if you're older. So there's a lot of different ways for people to use the wild cards, and I think, you know, it's a great opportunity.
You know, Wimbledon as well, being a Grand Slam, the financial opportunity, it helps fund the rest of your year. Which is obviously not what it's all about, but actually when you are trying to travel for the rest of the year, it definitely does help. So yeah, we're very lucky to have those opportunities.
Wimbledon have a meeting. It was yesterday, so it's Tuesday, like a couple of weeks before it starts, and yeah, we get a text from head of women's tennis, Ian Bates, yeah, saying either we have or we haven't. So it's a bit of a like a stressful day.
Yeah, it can definitely be stressful because you have to apply for it and you have to give reasons maybe why you think you deserve it, your current ranking, you know, recent results, that sort of thing, whether it's a development opportunity. And I think a lot of it, certainly over the grass season, is based on rankings, but also grass season results, and that's why the events leading up to Wimbledon and are pretty important.
Having the opportunity to get a wild card for qualifying or wild card for main draw, that's always in the back of the mind, just because you want to play at Wimbledon.
I put myself in a really good place. I think I was 190 in the world on the race, which is, the race starts from January the 1st and it ends on December 31st, so it's all the points you get in one calendar year. So I was obviously performing way higher at the time than my current ranking of 300 and something. So yeah, the fact that I got the wild card, it was great. But yeah, I also felt like I earned it. So
it can be pretty stressful, sort of waiting, because everyone is good, everyone deserves it in their own way, and a lot of girls had some really good results this summer. So yeah, it was a nerve-wracking few days.
It's that time of year again. The ACP Tour has arrived back in London, and there's certainly a lot of excitement around British tennis on the eve of the Cinch Championships.
And it's third time lucky for Jack Draper, the new British men's #1 player. He is the Boss Open champion in Stuttgart, his first ATP Tour title.
Congrats, Jack. As the new British #1 World Tour Maiden title, how does it feel to come back to Queen's?
Yeah, that feels amazing. I'm really proud of the way things have gone, and I'm very happy to be back here, and it's great to be back on home soil.
Hi, I'm Jack Draper. I'm 22 years old and I'm a professional tennis player. Well, I met Paul when I was probably 10 years old. He's a couple of years older than me, so he's around 12. And yeah, we had a lot of rivalries tennis-wise when we were growing up, and I'd see him at all the British tournaments around the country, and yeah, we were more competitors back then, I'd say.
So we are currently at Queen's, but first round of qualifying day, and yeah, rain delays keeps pushing us back.
When he kind of came back from university, I always sort of kept in touch with him while he was there, and then since he came back, we spent a lot of time with each other day to day. I would say then he was kind of a very good friend of mine.
I think I said to him, like, at some point, I'd like to, try and get my own place in London, and it'd be cool to, maybe get a place together, like, rent a place together.
We were both kind of injured at the time, things weren't going great, so I suppose we kind of just bonded through the tennis. I don't have many friends, but I'd say he really is a very close friend of mine, and yeah, I think he's an amazing person and obviously a great player too.
What did he say about me? I want to say.
He said that at the start you mothered him a bit.
I mothered him. Yeah. Yeah, I would say, like, he had some growing up to do, and I cared for him. I don't want to like bait him out. Like, I don't want to bait him. But yeah, okay, we'll just keep it. I mothered him a little bit.
He's teaching me how to cook. He's teaching me how to do this. He's teaching me how to do that. He's really mothering me.
As time went along, he became more mature and independent, and I'm proud of him. That's what I'll say.
We like a little romantic movie night for sure. We sometimes swap who cooks dinner for one night. Sometimes, one of us has to act like it's a really good meal. We do like a takeaway Chinese on a cheat meal.
I love a Chinese takeaway. We both do, actually. That's our like Sunday treat. Clean the apartment. Well, I would clean the apartment, and then get Chinese and watch a movie or something.
It was a great fit, and sometimes you don't know how it's gonna work living with someone. But it seems to me like we get on incredibly well, and we take the mick out of each other, and we have a great time. So I love living with Paul.
Okay, Magavan, new balls please.
Well, with the rain delay, they had a long wait ahead of this one. It's the American has found his game the quickest, though. Paul Jubb seems to be struggling to find his feet.
The main difference in the ATPs is you're coming across higher ranked players earlier on in the draws. You might not have as many matches. Generally the level's higher earlier on in the draw, and so you've got to adjust to the higher level basically.
You come up against the higher ranked players more often, and you know, you have to win or you don't get any points, and you get less money and you go home.
With someone you're incredibly close to, you know, a lot of it, especially if you're a guy, is kind of taking the mick out of each other and banter and, you know, not being serious. But obviously, you know, if one of us had a bad day or there's something to talk about or something's not quite right, or, you know, there's a challenge or something's on the other person's mind, you know, I think we know each other well enough as well to sense that. We do have serious conversations and we speak about life and tennis and how we're kind of navigating it all, you know, especially in this sport, because it's so up and down.
That is the biggest win of Jack Draper's career. The Wimbledon champion, the defending champion at Queen's, is out. That is a very important moment in his career.
A joyous, jubilant jump, and no wonder. His first ever victory against the top 20 player, the win of his life.
Oh, the Brazilian is through. A monumental effort from 2 sets to love down against the wildcard Britain ball jump. And what disappointment from him, but also what a match he's given the crowd.
We've both gone through enough in tennis already to understand that, you know, there's ebbs and flows, there's ups and downs, there's injuries, there's setbacks. We talk a lot about that and try and understand it better and try and be positive with each other.
Yeah, I think like our relationship's good in the fact of like we are emotionally aware and things like that, so we try and do our best to always see how the other one's doing.
You're always thinking about that next win or that bad loss you just have, or training the next day, and it's tough to sort of, you know, step out the kind of the sphere and see what really could be better and what's going on.
I think for me the main important thing is being a good human being.
Big game, big hole.
A lot of the times, and I still struggle with, is, you know, being result based and letting that kind of be heavily based on my self-worth. But I think, yeah, being the best you can be and giving your best efforts and being a good human being, I think are some pretty important things in life than winning a tennis match.
British summer of tennis is in full flow, and this week sees the WTA Tour head to Birmingham. Two-time Grand Slam champion Jelena Ostapenko leads the lineup, and as a former quarter-finalist...
We are in no, we're not in Nottingham. We're in Birmingham, and not much has gone on. We are just waiting because it's raining. It's pretty boring. There can be a lot of dead time anyway, so when it rains it just like extends the day. So I just try and keep myself busy with some studying. So I'm studying business enterprise in sport. It's an online degree, and it does really do a good job of keeping me busy and my mind occupied during the dead time at competition weeks. There's so much time where you have to think, and so much traveling time where you're just sat at airports, or you know, and there's only so much Netflix you can watch. So what else am I going to do in the time? And so I do like it, and it keeps my brain active.
Well, she went to go and walk on the court, and Kevin was like, "There's something on the court." Right? Didn't say, no, exactly. You didn't say what.
I think all tennis players are pretty adaptable, so we can like make the best out of a quick change or whatever in a situation, but it's not easy with eating and stuff. We have to continuously like eat and be ready for whenever we're going to play, and so sometimes you end up eating probably triple the amount you would want to eat in a match day just because it keeps getting pushed back. So I would say that's the hardest part for me, at least. You can't plan, you can't prepare, but that's just the nature of it, so you kind of have to just plan to not be ready.
There can be an added pressure playing at home when there are more eyes on you.
Well, that's just too good from Avanesian, and she takes the opening set 6-3.
I actually, from a personal point of view, I think I feel more pressure in the weeks leading up to the grass season than I do once it actually starts. And so in the build-up, I get sort of nervous, excited, and start to really look forward to it and what it might be able to bring for me and how I'm going to perform. And then once it starts, I'm able to sort of settle down, find my feet, and really just focus on my tennis and performing to the best of my ability. Of course, you want to do well when the LTA, give you a chance to compete in a tournament that otherwise you wouldn't be able to do. And so I think it is a matter of sort of calming those nerves and that feeling of pressure and just focusing on yourself, because at the end of the day it is only really self-pressure, because there isn't really any external pressure put on you.
Match point. That flies long, and Elina Avanesian will progress not to be for Emily Appleton today.
You have to learn to lose. That's the bottom line in this game. It's a difficult game. No other sports lose as much as we do.
We face failure a lot, pretty much every week, and to be able to come back from that feeling of failure quickly, we have to learn from it so that we try and avoid it the next week.
So Lissy and Freya and Emily, who have come along, take time out from practicing, getting ready for the Classic and so forth, to spend a little bit of time with us today in the opening of the court.
Oh, what a return! Let's go! Come on! Such a local club and a great atmosphere, and I think there's opportunities to find these places all around the country, especially if you search LTA Get On Court, you can find a court, and so it's not just here, it's everywhere around the country, which is really, really great, and it's only going to help with participation in tennis. It kind of reminds you where you came from, and that's almost like grassroots. That's where it starts, and so it's nice because you can get wrapped up in the sort of pro bubble, I guess. So it's nice to see the participation side of it.
If things aren't going well throughout the season and you're having a few losses, I would say just go back to basics. Have the people around you that you trust, have your team around you giving you some good advice, spend time at home, put a good training block in, and maybe you'll come back fresher and your luck will change.
I think overall I've had a really good grass season, so just got to add it to the bank of matches that I've had and move on to the next. But yeah, I'm feeling okay about it and just looking forward to whenever the next match will be.
Just get a big loud clap in front of your face, just like that.
One time out. That's it. No, they're running there. I'm feeling really good. Always happy to be back in e-sport.
Probably want to get like a round of golf in.
Eastbourne has that sort of ambiance of being that little bit more relaxed perhaps than some tournaments.
I'd say so, yeah. I mean, it's a really nice atmosphere, like you said. I mean, here in this picnic area as well, there's lots of families, or like people with different ages, and yeah, especially when the weather's nice like this, I think it's a great day out for the fans. I'm pretty excited actually. I've played this tournament once before, but I'm really looking forward to playing this week. Obviously, Wimbledon is massive, but Eastbourne is also a huge tournament. It's a great opportunity for me. I'm really grateful to have been given a wildcard into the main draw here too. So I think I'm more focused on this week right now, and not really thinking too far ahead. Hopefully I can play well.
Please welcome from Great Britain, Lily Miyazaki.
think the main difference is it's definitely more physical when you're playing guys a lot higher ranked. They're more consistent, move quicker.
Playing the higher ranked players who have more experience at that level more often will only be of benefit. But at the same time, it is difficult. You know, it's a tough balance between finding the tournaments where you're going to get enough matches to kind of get some momentum and build some confidence, and then taking that confidence into the higher level tournaments where you may not get as many wins, but the experience you'll get from that will be huge as well.
That'll do it. A comfortable win for Usma, dropping just the 3 games.
It was a really tough match. I think playing against a player like that, who I'll probably face in Wimbledon as well, like that kind of ranking, that kind of level, it was really good to get that experience. And yeah, hopefully I can clean up a few things in the next few days on the practice court. And yeah, I think I can really go into next week with more of a clearer mindset and game plan.
Please give a big hand to Lily.
Morning, how are you?
Morning, fine, thank you.
Good. If you've got tickets, the middle queue down in the says here, thanks very much.
It was amazing to get the wildcard into Wimbledon qualifying this year. I definitely felt like I earned my spot in qualifying. Had a great year. I think I picked up 160 points up until the grass season. For me, having all my friends and family that can actually come and watch me play has always been the best part of the grass season. I love obviously playing at Wimbledon and all this stuff, but yeah, for me it's all about family coming to watch, and friends that maybe I used to play with that come and watch, and it's just the best time of year for us. I played against Diego Schwartzman. Obviously I think his career high was maybe 8 in the world or 7 in the world. He made the World Tour finals 2 or 3 times. He beaten Roger, Rafa, Novak. He's a very, very established player. So he did announce his retirement this year a few months ago, but obviously he was still, I think when I played him, 120 in the world, which is higher than I've ever been. And yeah, obviously it's not someone that you want to play because you know how good he has been and you know the level he's got, and obviously you grew up watching him. So the fact that I did have the opportunity to play him was great, but I'd rather have played him in the 2nd or 3rd round. It was so special, obviously, for me to play the qualifying, but like I say, all the family and my close friends, they know the situation I was in, they knew the injury I had when I had it at the time, and then obviously it was a massive decision for me to have the surgery. And then, like I say, I did actually have my best career win less than a year after it. It's pretty sick.
I've always had good matches and stuff, and it's one of those things I was looking at other people I haven't really beaten. I've beaten very good players, but not a big name. And then obviously to beat him just kind of confirms what I thought about myself, that I could beat them. I just wish I could play them. And yeah, like I said, I was hoping to get this chance, and I was asking, they just give me the opportunity to play, because I know I can play well on grass, and I know that I can actually do good things. So the fact that I did get the chance this week, and I did so far back it up against a good player like him, it means a lot to me, and yeah, I'm a worthy wildcard kind of thing. Coming back from the injury, coming back to tennis, it was very different. In terms of how I actually acted, how I carried myself, I was very shy, very reserved, just because I knew that, I was playing with essentially one hand tied behind my back, so everything was new. I wasn't too sure how it would be, so I saw everything as a challenge, and actually winning matches, which before I was kind of taking for granted, up now, felt amazing. Actually, just to be able to win again, and actually, I think that was something that was really, really special. The next big goal for me is to make the qualifying of the Australian Open. There's only 220 people that will get to play the Aussie Open, so if I'm one of those, it'll mean a lot to me.
Welcome back to the Community Sports Centre in Roehampton for day 2 of this year's Wimbledon qualifying competition.
I think the challenge is that everyone can play, everyone is good, and there's such small margins between us all, even the top ranked girls. You know, we all know how to play tennis, and it's just a matter of sort of a little bit of confidence, a little bit of having the right mentality, enough sort of grit and resilience on the court, experience at playing these high-level matches and making use of opportunities that come your way.
Triple set point, Appleton with the serve, gets her on top of the court, takes all the little steps to swipe the ball out of the air. That's the first set.
Win or lose, I want to come off the court feeling like I couldn't have done more, and yeah, that's really important for me.
Set point Giacomo, the serve out wide and the return just floats wide. The 21-year-old on the comeback trail. It'll be a one-set shootout. Match point, Elsa Giacomo serves ace down the tee, and it's a roar of triumph for the Frenchwoman who sees herself into the second round of qualifying.
I think, yeah, the phrase win or learn is a tough one to take or hear when you've just come off the court and lost, but however sort of corny it may sound, or trust the process, that's another one. But yeah, however corny it sounds, it is true. You know, often you learn more from a match that you lose than you would from a win.
The potential opportunity of playing Wimbledon is obviously so exciting. It's, you know, such a big tournament, and it's such a great tournament. Everyone in the back of their minds, you know, has their sights on trying to get to the ranking of being able to play at least qualifying, or having the opportunity to get a wildcard for qualifying or wildcard for main draw. That's always in the back of the mind, just because you want to play at Wimbledon, so, and especially as a Brit.
I think us as British tennis players are the luckiest players in the world, I would say. We have a time frame where we're at home playing on the most incredible surface in a very traditional spot that a lot of people will probably know, which is Wimbledon, and it has an aura about it that is where tennis started. The history with it is incredible, and just to be able to play in front of fans there, it is, you know, your home crowd, it's a different feeling, and it makes me immensely proud to be able to step out onto the court and give my all in front of all those people.
Basically every tennis player, I think Wimbledon is just like what you kind of play towards when you're young. You always dream about playing on those courts. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to it, especially as a Brit.
Nicely done.
The prize money is huge, and it really helps us for the rest of the year. And then also, if you can get some wins there, then it massively helps your ranking as well. So yeah, for me, I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity, and yeah, I really want to make the most of it and also enjoy it at the same time. I've worked so hard up till now, and yeah, I just want to keep pushing on, but yeah, also enjoying it.
Korpesh on the brink, serves into the forehand of Miyazaki, rolled back deep to the body. Miyazaki on top of the court, forehand to the forehand of Korpesh, which is sailing along. It's main draw triumph for Lily Miyazaki.
Big cheer for the home win. A big win for this 28-year-old. First time ever winning a main draw match in the singles at Wimbledon. Just the second time in her career at a main draw.
Such impressive composure from Miyazaki, who salutes the crowd, shows her appreciation. She'll be excited for her round 2 appearance.
The Paralympics it's an incredible honour to put on the shirt. What it represents and what it means is huge. You know, it can be inspirational to millions of people that watch it, and also just share inspirational stories as well. I think that's a thing. It's not always about the success and the winning. It can be the journey that someone has gone on to be able to get to that stage. And that in itself is worth a gold medal at times when you talk to people and you hear what they've gone to and the resilience and the mentality that they've had to be able to get to a Paralympics. It's yeah, it really is something special.
I'm buzzing. I'm really excited to get out there and see what it's like being in the village, and even the pre-camp is going to be good fun, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm Dannon Ward, I'm 18 and I play wheelchair tennis. Growing up, I remember looking up to, you know, Alfie and Gordon, still now. I don't think the wheelchair tennis setup in the UK would be anywhere as big as it is now if it wasn't for Alfie or Gordon. You know, always watching, like going to watch their matches at the British Open and at Wimbledon and stuff, so yeah.
How much have you played on grass in your career so far?
Probably like 3 weeks worth. I played Queen's like a few years back, and then 2 tournaments here with like a few days of prep, so yeah, not a lot of time on the grass. The challenges mostly for playing on grass are just the movement and getting used to the bounce of the ball really. Like it's so different compared to clay, which is what 90% of the tour's on, so going from clay to grass is a massive change, and yeah, I think it's better to have as much time as possible preparing for a grass event.
So it's Dannon Ward who makes it through here at the Lexus British Open in Roehampton. He'll have it tough though in the second round. Alfie Hewitt waits for him there.
I've never played Alfie before in a proper match, so yeah, it's a good opportunity for me, and I'm not expecting loads from it, but I'll just go out there and try my best, yeah.
For me, after playing juniors, to play the senior events, it was really important to get that experience against players who've been playing for a very long time. But I do feel like, you know, people peak at different times, and I think that's always really important to remember.
There's very few cases and examples where people just go straight from juniors to seniors and excel in both. It's not just you rock up, you do a couple of bands and then you go and win a Grand Slam. That's not how it works.
Game and first set, you up by 6 games to love.
If you just focus on the here and the now too much, it can be a tough one to take if things aren't going your way. But if you focus your energy on the things that aren't going so well all the time, it can be quite demoralising, and it can obviously shatter confidence. And I think one of the toughest parts from making that transition is dealing with failure, because it's natural. It is managing that and learning that it's okay to not be where you want to be.
Game, set and match by 2 sets to love.
Trying to keep the positives and see, we say the small wins, because those small wins can go a long way, and so they've got to learn that and evolve along the way as well.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our players, Dannon Ward and Alfie Hewitt.
I wasn't expecting too much from it. I mean, yeah, he's playing well, and you know, I'm just testing things out still. I felt like a positive to take from it is I didn't play my best, and I still felt like there was a lot of close points and close games in there, and yeah, I think there's a lot of room to improve, which is good. So it means I've got the potential to do that. So yeah.
Yes, Ben. Up, 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 up.
I started just after he started. So I started when I was 11, he started when he was 10. The first time we met would have been at British Open, where we played each other in the final and he beat me. And yeah, so we've known each other for like, what, 7, 8 years now, and yeah, we've just sort of been best mates really.
Ben's a bit of a nut really.
I find it much easier to be like travelling to tournaments for like extended periods of time when you've got like your best mate there with you. Just like good banter really.
So there's, whoa, it's me speaking here. I have a condition called proximal femoral focal deficiency. and it's basically where my femur is shorter, but I have like a foot and everything and toes and stuff. I've always just loved sport. I used to play football when I was really young without the prosthesis on, and then I had an operation which meant that I couldn't play football anymore, and my dad looked for the sports and found wheelchair tennis, and yeah, from there I've just loved wheelchair tennis.
There we go, well done with that.
I was supposed to go through limb lengthening, and this was going to be like several surgeries, but I only had one of them, and I started wheelchair tennis like straight after the first one, and I was lined up for the second set of surgery, and I just pulled out of it because I was just already so deep into wheelchair tennis and just loved it so much, really.
Good ball, finish. Don't mind as long as you finish there.
At the time, my parents were quite shocked because it was literally like a week before the surgery that I pulled out of it, and I think I was just dreading going into it, really, because it's just like 10 months of just pure torture, really. I was just thinking ahead, really, and thinking about what I enjoy the most, and yeah, it was wheelchair tennis, and so it was an easy decision for me.
There we go. Well done with that. And again, it's not overthinking it, isn't it? It's just improving the quality of that ball.
Just getting out there and playing a match will be like great, and just seeing how I can do and just trying to play my best there. Obviously I've never played there before, so I think it's just about getting used to the atmosphere and stuff like that, and hopefully I can come out of it with loads of inspiration and a kind of drive that can last up until LA, and I think hopefully by then I'm in the race for a medal.
Welcome to Turkey for the 2024 edition of the World Team Cup.
The World Team Cup is basically like a wheelchair version of the Davis Cup. It was Alfie, Gordon, me and Ben, and the coach was Rob Cross.
16 teams have been split into 4 groups and will each contest 3 round-robin ties, with the winners of each group progressing to the semi-finals.
It's kind of different to the Davis Cup in the fact that all categories, so men's, women's, juniors, quads, it's all happening at the same time, so it can get very hectic. Yeah, there's just so many players.
Great Britain come into this year's tournament as defending champions, and they'll be looking to take home their 4th World Team Cup men's title here in Antalya.
Yeah, it was great to have Dan in the team at World Team Cup. We've been playing the Junior World Team Cup together for a while, and we were the 1 and 2s there, so it's like we're both sort of starting fresh again in the seniors. We would be sitting there watching the matches together, just like chatting rubbish and, you know, learning and trying to take in as much as we can. We're in a very similar situation and part in our careers in terms of development. I'd say we're probably polar opposites. Like, he's very high energy, he's very, you know, bold, I'd say, whereas like I'm quite reserved.
I didn't anticipate that one, did you?
Yeah, just completely opposite, I'd say. It's always a good laugh and a good time when I'm with him. He's there if I need to talk to him. He's, you know, he's probably my best mate. Yeah, he's really easy to get on with, and you know, I think everyone likes him. Everyone finds him funny. So, yeah, I've always just got on with him really from day one. So yeah.
Oh, that's a great shot.
In the second year of playing for me, he was kind of starting at the same time, so we always had some close battles when I was younger, and kind of for the first like 3-4 years-ish of us playing juniors, I was kind of better than him for a while, and then suddenly he had a massive like growth spurt in terms of his ability, and he was getting more results, and I was losing confidence because of it, so I feel like we're at a kind of similar point right now, and yeah, we'll see where we're at in a few years.
I think it's crucial in your development, especially from a young age, to have battles and rivalries. It always makes you look ahead and also look behind. You know, if you're chasing someone, you definitely self-reflect and you analyse on what you need to do to improve to be able to get to that next stage.
Men's singles champion, Ben Bartram.
Having that at a young age, like Ben and Dan Han, they're always just constantly pushing each other to the next level, whilst also accomplishing things at the same time. So good for the friendship, but also good for them as professionals.
It's been great for both of our developments to have each other to practice against and play against. You know, you've always got someone pushing the other. It's always been great competing against each other because, you know, what is the saying? Like, iron sharpens iron or something. It's probably not it, but, you know what I'm saying.
Dan Ward at his first World Team Cup in the senior team.
Players like Ben and Dannon who have obviously got a lot of potential and have won futures events and are doing really well and progressing through the rankings. But then to make that next step up, the game's a lot stronger, the pace of the ball, the movement is slightly different, your anticipation of it. Also just match management, you know, dealing with your emotions, your confidence, discipline. You know, there's so many areas of the game now which, you know, you probably don't think about when you're in the juniors because you know, you're probably playing a lot less and maybe have other commitments, but when you go to full-time commitment, putting your body through it, whether it's on court or in the gym, is part of it. And then, like I said, there's so many other components to it. So, long-winded answer, but yeah, it's harder.
Welcome to Antalya in Turkey. It is the men's competition at the World Team Cup.
From what you have seen of him on court, what's his game like? What are his strengths?
Well, he doesn't lack power, that's for sure.
A beautiful backhand from Dannon Ward, who really is playing some good tennis here.
Dannon plays a pretty aggressive game. I like to hit the ball hard. Yeah, this is probably a very basic way of explaining it. Hit big, hope.
When he came onto the scene, we played Battle of the Brits match together, and I was just taken back by the sort of effortless strength that he had around the court, the way he can move so quickly, strike a ball pretty much anywhere in the court with a lot of power. I've seen him develop a lot recently, where he's certainly coming into his own and learning his identity, I believe, on the tennis court.
A fantastic display from Dannon Ward, who runs away with things in the end. 6-love in the third over Tomoya Tachi. And that confirms it's 3 wins from 3 ties for Great Britain this week here in Antalya, after a singles victory earlier on for Gordon Reid.
You need to cut yourself with a slack. You're hitting back, everything well, every shot well.
Rob has known me since I was really young, so I think he knows how to act with me and how to, how to get the best out of me on court, really.
It just gets away from the tactical and everything about that, doesn't it? It's like, alright, we've got to make sure that you're not getting too down on yourself. It's like we need to start really getting away from that. Yeah, there's just a bit of work to be done.
I think we both share similar personalities on court. You know, we can both be very hard on ourselves at times, but as well as that, after the matches, we'll both realise what we did wrong, and instead of just getting frustrated about it, we'll go about it in a smarter way than just being like, oh, I'm angry I lost. We'll look at ways that we can both improve and make sure that whatever went wrong doesn't go wrong again in the future.
That's the problem with my tennis at the minute, really. It's really negative. Yeah, it only takes a few bad games and I'm just losing my head on the court, so I don't know what changes, but I wish I could control it, and I don't think I give myself enough credit, really. When I'm doing something well, I think in my head I just highlight the negatives. That's something that I'm working on right now with my psychologist. So yeah, I was positive. I've won 6-love, so.
Well, it's been a great week so far out in Turkey for the British wheelchair tennis teams. They're out there competing in the World Team Cup, and for the men's team, it's the second final in as many years. They've beaten France this afternoon in 2 singles ties to make it to the final, which will take place on Sunday.
There's not lots to say. Obviously, been a good week so far. Everyone's played their part big time. Everyone's had plenty of court time, which I've quite enjoyed being court with all of you. Tomorrow's team, Gordon at 2, Alfie at 1. If it goes to doubles, that's TBC. We'll see what happens during the matches. We all have a big part to play tomorrow in support and everything. Again, it's been a team effort this week, and we continue that tomorrow. Yeah, you guys have been great, off the court and on the court. You know, it's not being condescending, but learning from these boys this week. I can see what you've done on warm-ups and everything like that, and I think it's been great. So, yeah, credit to you all. And guys, cheers for helping out as well. So that's it. Yeah, and let's try and have a good day tomorrow, and hopefully we can celebrate. All right? With fizzy water.
Tell us what the experience was like of being in the senior team for the first time.
So I spent a lot of time with Ben already, so it was kind of normal. Other than the fact that I was playing like loads of board games and stuff in the evening with Alfie and Gordon. I guess we're kind of like team bonding, so it's quite good fun actually.
No, he's balled it. Welcome back to Antalya, Turkey. We're at finals day of the 2024 World Team Cup. In the men's competition, Great Britain have the chance to lift the trophy for the 4th time and defend the title they won last year in Portugal. This should be some final. Spain taking on Great Britain, and first up it'll be Gordon Reid up against Daniel Kavasashi.
Come on, Gordon! Go, mate, this one. Yes, Gordon, mate. Great shot, great shot. Great set.
So the return just drifts along, and Gordon Reid has put Great Britain off to a good start here. He's taken the opening set over his Spanish opponent, Dani Kavasashi.
Come on, Gordon, this one. Let's go, come on.
And that's going to drift wide, and that will mean Gordon Reid gets Great Britain off to the best possible start in the World Team Cup final.
6-3, 6-4. Never in doubt.
We've got a fascinating one to look forward to. Alfie Hewitt up against Martin de la Puente. Great Britain just one victory away from defending their World Team Cup title.
I mean, Alfie's only lost one match against Martin, and it was on clay.
Hewitt struggling for form today, you can sense it.
I think watching Alfie struggle in his matches, sorry to go back to his tough times, but yeah, like even the best players can struggle.
So that is the opening set going the way of Martin de la Puente. Alfie Hewitt clearly having some struggles with the conditions and particularly the surface, but there's still plenty of time for the Brit to find his game.
The conditions are tough for everyone, and it's about who's got the most amount of competitive spirit and who's going to dig in the deepest, really, and I think that's what Alfie really showed.
That's a fantastic comeback, and Alfie Hewitt does seal set number 2 to take us the distance here in Antalya.
In those final sets, you know, he came out with some crazy shots when he was match point down. That is naughty. Yeah, I think that was a massive takeaway really for me. Oh, please, 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 please.
What a pass that is from Alfie Hewitt, and that seals victory for him and for his country as Great Britain lift a 4th World Team Cup.
No doubt there. He was always going to win that match. Last one, Alf.
So it is a 4th World Team Cup for Great Britain.
The men's team have done well the last few years. Obviously having Ben on the scene and Dannon coming into the team this year as well.
What a blend of youth and experience there really is in this lineup. Of course, the familiar faces of Alfie Hewitt and Gordon Reid, alongside the younger Dannon Ward and of course Ben Bartram, who both made big contributions here in Turkey.
It's really promising that we have a future. We have a strong nation. You know, we're well supported with the LTA, and it's really promising to see what's coming through. I think there's a lot of interest, a lot of new players playing, which is great. So we've got to keep doing our job, and hopefully in 5-10 years time they can have the shirt, fly the flag, and continue the success that we've had at World Team Cup.
A couple of weeks after Wimbledon finishing, it's kind of a weird time of the year because obviously grass season's over. Very sad that it's over, but yeah, just loved every minute of it. Had some really good wins, really good weeks. I think the biggest thing obviously is winning my first match at Wimbledon in the professional circuit.
Bit of a breeze as Lily Miyazaki sets up for match point. She serves into the body, taking the return high, the smash away from Emily Appleton, whose arms are in the air. Elation, jubilation for the British duo as they clinch a first ever Wimbledon main draw win for Appleton.
That was huge, and to share that moment with Lily, who's one of my best friends on the tour as well, was really incredible, and yeah, something I'll cherish for a long time. But I think also getting the amount of singles wins that I did this grass season really was a huge thing for me to show me that I belong and that I can compete with these girls. And yeah, it's just been a huge motivating factor to go forwards and to work towards being at these high level tournaments more often. That's where we want to see the best results, and so I was really happy that I was able to do this year. So next week I'm going to Germany. I'll probably do my last week on clay, and then I'm going to come back, play one of the events here in the UK, and then maybe look to get out onto the hard courts in the States. I think, yeah, for the rest of the year I really want to push on, play a lot of tournaments and play for both my singles and my doubles to try and get my rankings up. And then, you know, I'd love to be able to get to Australia at the end of December, January time, and try the tournaments out there and compete with the world's best.
I'm on time, no?
Yeah, but everyone's betting you beat last.
No, they weren't. Ben's going to be here in 5 minutes. The Paralympics was always a massive goal for me and dream. It was always something that my dad spoke to me about, and I think he was probably like my main inspiration for it. I've never played in an event that's as massive as the Paralympics, so I guess we'll see what it's like. I'm kind of not expecting anything, but my goals for this year are just just go out there and try and play my best and just soak it all up, really.
What an enormous day as we welcome the players out onto court.
Hi guys, just a quick recap on how everything's been going. Played the Paralympics, which was crazy.
18-year-old Dannon Ward playing his very first Paralympic match in the singles. He takes on the Moroccan here in front of what should be a fantastic crowd.
Got to play on nearly a full Philippe Chatrier court, which was just a memory that will stick with me for the rest of my life.
A wonderful win that is for Dannon Ward on his Paralympic debut. who comes through in straight sets to reach the next round, 6-3, 7-6.
Since then, I've just been working hard, currently playing my final event of the year, and it starts today. I've got quite a tough first round, but I'm feeling good about my game, so I'm looking forward to it, and yeah, wish me luck.
Hey guys, it's Jodie here. So since filming Beyond the Baseline, I got myself back on court, which has been really, really fun. I played my first match back in Monastir, and there was a lot of feelings going back into that match. It's all I'd been thinking about for the last 6 months. I think I'd been bottling up a lot of emotion from the last few months and trying not to feel it and just get through that time, and I think it all came out after that match. The last few weeks and months since filming, I've just been back playing, trying to play as many matches as possible, trying to get my timing back on court, my physicality, my mentality back to where it was. Still a lot of work to be done, but very happy to get through that time and look forward to 2025.
Hi everyone, it's Paul Jug here. Just giving you a little update. I feel things have been going really well. I feel like I've been constantly improving, constantly getting better with each week with the work I've been putting in, so really, really happy about that. My highlight would be reaching a career high ranking, which I'm currently at. I want to go higher, but a career high is a career high, and that's always a positive and shows you moving forward in the right direction.
Since finishing filming Beyond the Baseline, there's been a number of season highlights for me and a number of milestones that I've unlocked. I am now inside the top 100 in the doubles world rankings, and I also won a title in Vienna. I also recently made the semi-finals of the WTA 250 doubles event in China, and that was a big milestone in my career as well.
After we finished filming the documentary, I went out to the States for a few weeks and played a few tournaments there. And then I came back and played a couple more tournaments. But unfortunately, after that, I found out that I have a bone stress injury in my leg, which is keeping me out of competition for about 12 weeks. So it's been quite a frustrating end to the year. I'm just looking forward to getting back on the court and getting ready for the Australian Open in January.
Since we stopped filming, the season for me has actually gone pretty good. I've been very happy with it. I made another final and won another tournament, lifting my ranking up, and probably the highlight for me this year is getting back inside 250. It's something that I have done before, but it's always amazing to put yourself back in contention with the top 250 best players in the world.